People say you're bad at small talk. You weren't even trying. And if you've ever gone quiet the moment someone starts talking about the weather, you've probably heard it more than once, awkward too, intense, hard to warm up to. Small talk exists for a reason. It's a screening tool, weather traffic. How's work? Low-risk questions that let two strangers test the water without exposing anything. Psychologists call this phatic communication. Nobody's trying to learn anything. They're just checking if the other person is safe. But here's where it gets interesting. That screening never gets anyone close. It just confirms nobody's a threat. And closeness needs something small talk was never built to carry. You've noticed people pull back when you skip the screening stage. Ask something real too fast, and you get the look, the slight recalibration, like you moved a piece on the board nobody agreed to play. That reaction is real. Most people aren't ready to answer a real question from a stranger, and your directness catches them off guard before they've decided you're safe. In 1997, psychologist Arthur Aaron ran a study that became famous for the wrong reason. People call it the 36 questions that make you fall in love. That's not quite what he found. What his research actually showed is that closeness isn't random. It's built through escalating self-disclosure questions that get progressively more personal asked in order both people answering honestly. Strangers who did this for 45 minutes reported feeling closer than people who'd known each other for years. You don't need his 36 questions. You need the mechanism underneath them. Ask something that costs the other person a little to answer honestly, and pay the same cost first. Most people flinch from that cost. You don't. Not because you're braver, because you stopped needing the safety of shallow questions a long time ago, and now it just looks like nerve. There's a second piece nobody tells you, and it should embarrass more people than it does. Researchers Nicholas Epley and Juliana Schroeder at the University of Chicago ran the numbers on exactly this fear, the one that tells you a deep question will make things weird. People predicted almost universally that a real conversation with a stranger would feel awkward and forced. They were wrong almost every time. The actual conversations came back warmer, more enjoyable, and more connected than either person expected going in. The discomfort was imagined before it happened. The closeness was real once it did. You've probably clocked this without ever reading the study. You ask the real question anyway, and it works more often than it doesn't. You just never had the data to prove you weren't the awkward one. One man tested this without meaning to. Work dinner stuck next to someone he'd never spoken to. Instead of the usual, "So, what do you do?" he asked. "What's something you used to believe that you don't anymore?" The table went quiet for a second. The guy actually stopped chewing. Then he said, "Nobody's asked me that since college," and didn't stop talking for 20 minutes. Everyone else at the table was still on the weather. That's not charm. Harvard researcher Karen Huang found that people who ask follow-up questions, questions that prove you actually listened to the last answer instead of waiting for your turn, get rated as significantly more likable across every context her team tested. You skipped a stage most people never leave. It just looked like a strange thing to say at dinner. But I need you to sit with something uncomfortable. Are you asking real questions because you actually want the answer? Or because interviewing someone is easier than letting them ask you anything back? Both look like depth from the outside. Only one of them is actually closeness. The other one is control wearing curiosity as a disguise. If you're a man, this one gets misread constantly. Skip small talk and ask something real and you get called intense, like the question itself was the problem. It wasn't. It broke a script the other person didn't know they were running. And someone always blames the thing that broke it instead of the script. Small talk fills a silence. A real question fills a room and empties it out just as fast of everyone who was only there to be polite. The people who stay after that were never looking for the weather report. Which question have you actually used that got someone to open up fast? Tell me below, I want to steal it. And if you know someone who's tired of surface conversations and can't name why, send them this. Follow for more on the psychology of quiet intensity.